Hey guys, so I really wanted to break down the numbers for this listing that I have in the market right now. It's a condo townhouse, and I think it's a really good townhouse for us to look at. And the reason I really wanted to do this is because once we had it go live up for sale, I did get a lot of traction. I did get questions about this, and I really wanted to just break it down because some people were calling me from out of town and some of them who are from here. So in this video, let's just break down the numbers and let you see how it looks like on a monthly basis. So it's going to be really good for you as a first-time home buyer to have a good understanding of how these numbers look like, as well as if you are an investor. It's going to be really interesting to see how things are in that downtown core areas. Any first-time home buyer, any investor, I'm pretty sure you'll like this one. So let's look at the numbers and let's look at this, how this will be on a monthly basis. So the first thing that typically sets the tone for the monthly payments you're going to have are your down payment. So for this one, first of all, it is listed at 699,000. So this is a marketing price. So for those who haven't watched my video about me talking about the marketing price and what this means, you should watch it. This is one of my videos in my channel. But 699 is a marketing price. So let's say this unit sells in the range of 730 to 750, because this is where it really sits when you do the comparable. So I'm going to use 730 as a purchasing price for this one, so that we can actually break it down from there, and then you can actually see it from your own perspective. And when I'm using that purchasing price, you can insert any type of purchasing price that you want, and you'll be able to still break it down the way I have it here. So let's go into the home price of 730, and as I said, the down payment typically would set the tone. So we're using the 20% down payment. So when I use 20%, as a first-time home buyer, you have the ability to go as low as 5% down payment. Now, you can go 5%, you can go 10%, but just understand your monthly payments are going to be slightly higher as well on this, because now you'll also have to pay the Canadian Mortgage Housing Corporation, CMHC. You have to get qualified through that. And then you also have to pay the Canadian Mortgaging Housing Corporation as well. But for this video's purpose, we're going to use 20%. So 20% of 730,000 comes to 146,000. So that means we're going to be mortgaging 84,000. I hope you understand how I got that. So 700, so you do 730,000 minus 146,000, which is the down payment. And then we're left with 584, which is what you're borrowing from the lenders. And we're going to now break it down in terms of the rate. So in today's rate, you'll find that fixed rates are now in a much better position compared to variable rates. Variable rates are slightly higher. So for this example, I'm going to use a 3-year fixed at 5.5%. So this could potentially be lower. You can get some 5.1, 5.2, or even 5.4. I've had now clients who are getting rates at that high, 4.8, 4.9% on a fixed rate. So it's getting better, and we're going to now start seeing a lot more buyers coming into the market. So at 5.5%, this brings your monthly payment to, and before I get the monthly payment exact, so we're going to amortize this at a 30-year amortization. And another thing about the amortization that you have to understand is if you're paying less than 20%, you'll only be able to amortize this for a maximum of 25 years, which is again going to increase your monthly payment. So now if you're doing 20%, we can actually amortize it for 30 years. And this brings our payment for this one at $3,293.21. So that is just the mortgage. So there's other fees that are coming into this that we're going to also look at. So for this property, we also have to consider the property tax. Property tax is what we always pay every year. You can't run away from it. And the annual property tax for this property is $2,705. When you break this down on a monthly basis, this comes to $225.42. Then the next fee here is the condo fee. So remember, this is not a freehold townhouse. This is a condo townhouse. For a freehold townhouse, you have full ownership of the property. For a condo townhouse, you only have full ownership for the interior of the unit. The exterior is owned by the condo corporation. So for this, there's a fee, and this fee covers a lot of things such as hydro, common elements, building insurance, water, And you always just have to look at what the condo fee is covering for your unit, and also the maintenance for the area as well. So for this one, the condo fee is 608. So that is something to consider. Then the other thing that we're going to consider for fee is the hot water tank. So let's say the heat. For this one, my client is paying a total of $90. So I just put in there $100 just in case of anything, because he was living there alone. So if you're going to be moving there with a couple or something like that, I just put in $100 for easy math, really. Then other expenses, let's say home insurance, is also something you have to consider. For this one, my client was paying $600 annually for home insurance. So I just broke it down into $50 on a monthly basis. So this is all the expenses you're going to incur. So you have to now also add in utilities like cable and all those things, but I'm just focused on mainly the house itself. Other things like utilities, we can put it to the side. We can say add an extra maybe $200 on that for utilities. So as the math that I have here for you, the total monthly cost comes to $4,277 to own a property like this at $730,000. So if this works with your budget, then this is probably a good townhouse for you, because it's right in the core of downtown, steps off of King Street, really close to Liberty Village, in the center of Liberty Village and Fashion Districts. If you keep walking, a lot of people have dogs. There's really good parks in and around there. You can keep walking down, you get into Lakeshore. So it's a really good unit. As an investor, if you're looking at this in that specific area for a unit like this, you're looking at rent in the range of, I'll say, $3,000 to $3,200. So you have to consider the fact that it's going to probably cover just the mortgage, but now when you bring in the maintenance fee, bring in the property tax, that's going to be the extra. Now just consider you're going to be paying maybe another $1,200 or $1,000 off of pocket. Now if you're approaching this as an investor, now this is where you have to make sure that the unit you're purchasing has good appreciation power, because you're now buying in the downtown core of Toronto. So I really wanted to do this breakdown for you to have a good understanding of this listing, and this is something that I wanted to do for a lot of properties that I have in the market, for everybody to have a good understanding, so I can send it together and we all have a good understanding for this. So if you have questions, if you really want to set up a time to come and look at this condo townhouse by yourself, set a booking, or you want to just have a good understanding of questions to see how could we break this down and go into a little bit more details, because there's also the closing cost that I'm not covering in this, because that does not go into this, but closing cost is another conversation. So you could always reach out to me. I have a link in this video or in my bio. Set up a time where we can get into a quick 5 to 15 minute call. Let's see if I can help you and see what we can do to move on to the next step, if need be. If not, I'll always advise you on what you need to do on your front and just take it from there. So up until next time, see you in the next video. Thank you.